Hello YouTube, I Fix It All here, Team I Fix It All. So we've got ourselves a power window motor out of a 1990 Ford Bronco, and it hits a certain point and then all you hear is a motor running. So that tells me that the safety parts inside this gearbox are jacked. Now I've already dove in here, that way I didn't waste time on the video. I wanted to show you the common failure and how to repair. Let's get past the preliminaries, which I'm not going to include. Take the door panel off. That could be a nightmare, or it could be easy. Then locate where you think your power window motor is. It should look something like this. That is in the game with something called a regulator, which is a half moon gear. That's what this hardened steel gear rides against and manipulates to work the moon gear, to work a lever to raise the window up or down. The way these work is you give battery here and ground here, and the motor turns one way. That's because you commanded for window up, but when you command for window down, the polarity is flipped going into the connector, so the motor will run the opposite way. DC motors work like that. I'll show you what's in here, and I'll show you what's broken. Forgot to tell you one thing. Most of the time, if no one's been in your door panel before to work on the power window motor, you'll see where you can put a socket in through the door to get to the typically 3 bolts that hold it in place. Sometimes you can only access 1 bolt, but in the skin of your car there will be a dimple, like someone took a punch and put a dimple in the door in 2 suspicious spots that look like they're lined up with these other 2 screw heads. Well, they're trying to tell you drill here, so you have to drill a hole big enough to accommodate the socket you're about to use. And from that point, disconnect your typically 2-wire connector. I've got this prepped for adding power to test the motor. And then bring it to your workbench, and there should be another screw holding the cover on. And then we're going to get in here and take a look-see. Let's see what we can discover here. I'm going to zoom differently. There we go. Okay. There's a cover. It's got a gasket on it. Makes sense so far. And this is the drive shaft of the electric motor that transitions into something called a worm gear. Let's see what lifts out. So that lifted out. That's triangular in shape, so to speak, that accommodates the profile of these 3 things here. These are made of plastic. Okay, so there's 3 chunks of plastic, and then here's your main drive gear, Let's see if I can grab that. There's your worm gear. That drives this guy because it's toothed. You'll see it just fits the profile of your worm gear just perfectly. Well, where did mine fail? Right there. This is supposed to be 49 tooth with a 9 tooth drive gear. So I counted the teeth on that. That's 9. I'm going to take their word for it on this. I can count to 49. It's just I haven't done it yet. But I'm going to go on Rock Auto. And I'm going to order something of a kit. That includes this gear. These 3 plastic shims that accommodate the profile of the triangle section. And it also includes this. Let's go test our motor and see if our motor sounds like it's working well. Otherwise, I'll get a whole new motor. Hang tight. We are back. We are back under the hood. Got me a red cable, gator clips. That's the kids over the hill shooting their 22. You know, this is going against the grain of my instincts. I always want to hook up the ground first. So let's do that. Of course, earlier I mentioned neither one of these are really ground. But I'm going to assign ground to this yellow wire. And I'm going to hook up the red lead. Now this is the guy that I got to be careful of. Don't let it touch chassis anywhere. Okay. And we should get a result when I touch. Okay, so you should be able to see the worm gear start spinning right in there when I hook up the other lead. See that grease moving? Now I'm going to reverse the leads. This is just verifying that the unit is acting like it's going to be dependable. It's changing direction on me. I don't hear any suspicious noises. These aren't made to run full duty, by the way. Or actually, these older ones, you could probably run them full duty for some other application, like maybe to lift a snowplow. These are real powerful little boogers here, especially if they're geared right. All right, so that tells me, watch what I'm doing. I'm keeping my meter leads apart from each other until I get that red one released. Okay. Okay. All right, so what that tells me is it's highly likely that I can risk getting just the repair kit for my window motor. I don't hear anything in there rattling around, The connections look sealed. The connectors didn't look highly corroded. I don't see any reason to. On Rock Auto, I've got quite a selection to pick from. I'm going to get the repair kit and reinstall it. That's all she should need. We'll talk at you later. See ya. Bye for now.